Not understanding the direct line being drawn between the White House and a brand new global financial system could be the single most expensive mistake you make all year. The signals aren't subtle anymore. They're practically screaming for your attention right now.
Okay, let's just jump right in. When the President of the United States comes out and explicitly calls for a 21st century upgrade to our entire banking system, you have to ask, which companies are always in the room for these talks? Ripple's name keeps popping up again and again, and that's a key piece of this whole puzzle.
And get this, while the US is talking about it, Europe is already moving. A major leak coming from a source they're calling Lord Belgrave just blew the lid off some confidential European briefings. It lays out a secret plan to upgrade the continent's entire financial plumbing to a new system built on distributed ledger technology.
Now here's the twist. The leak doesn't just talk about vague ideas. No, it names the specific technologies that have allegedly been verified for this new European unified ledger. And right there on the list as a core component is the XRP Ledger.
So you've got the White House pushing for an upgrade, and you've got Europe secretly picking the technology. By the end of this explainer, I promise you will understand the exact blueprint that connects all of these global events to what looks like a completely new price reality. Look, let me be crystal clear. We're Crypto Global News, and this is what we do. If you are watching this right now without a subscription, you are missing the alerts. You're behind the curve. Information like this moves markets in minutes, so you need to click subscribe and stay on the timeline with us.
All this high-level talk is great, but it all comes down to one critical question, right? Is any of this stuff, the actual infrastructure, even ready for big institutions to really use? Let's look at the hard evidence. Well, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. How's this for evidence? $7.8 million. That's the value of tokenized real estate that is live right now and eligible for trading on the XRP Ledger, specifically in Dubai. And let's be clear, this isn't some tiny little pilot program. The Dubai Land Department, a government body, has officially launched phase 2 of their project. We're talking about a fully regulated secondary market for tokenized real estate, with all the assets secured by Ripple's own custody solution. The utility phase isn't coming, it's already here. And the demand? It's off the charts. The very first real-world asset protocol to launch on the XRP Ledger, SOIL, opened up a $1 million vault. It sold out. Completely, in just 72 hours. That tells you everything you need to know about the appetite for these products. This whole space is moving at light speed. So I want to know what you think. What are your thoughts on tokenizing real-world assets? Is this the future? Head over to our community tab after this and jump into the discussion on our latest post. We really want to hear what you have to say. And the data is just pouring in to back this up. With all this growth, the total value of tokenized assets on the XRP Ledger has now officially flipped a major competitor, Solana. That's a huge milestone. It shows that when it comes to institutional-grade assets, there's a clear preference emerging. Okay, before we dive into the price models that all this utility supports, you need to know this. There's a key piece of legislation in the US called the Clarity Act that we're watching like a hawk. To get our exclusive alert the second there's any movement on it, you have to be subscribed with notifications turned on. So let's talk about what this all means for price. One of the clearest models breaks it down into 2 steps. Step 1, regulatory clarity. Just getting clearer rules of the road could de-risk the asset and potentially unlock a $5 to $10 price. But step 2, widespread bank utility. That requires a much higher price, somewhere in the $15 to $30 range, just to handle the liquidity for massive transactions without slippage. And what's absolutely fascinating is how different models from completely different angles are all pointing to the exact same numbers. The fundamental need for banks points to $15 to $30. Technical analysis using Fibonacci extensions points to around $28. And guess what? Huge institutions like Standard Chartered Bank are putting out analysis that aligns almost perfectly with those same valuations. So let's put it all together. You have the political will from the very top, you have live institutional-grade utility happening right now, and you have validated financial models from every angle, technical, fundamental, and institutional, all pointing to the same conclusion. It really looks like the final convergence of all these forces is happening as we speak. For the absolute fastest updates, the stuff that breaks so fast we can't even make a video about it, our Telegram channel is where you need to be. Just scan the QR code on your screen or hit the link down in the description and join us there.
So the only question left is, are you ready for the flip? Because while we know about Europe's plans, the biggest question mark is right here at home. Which major US bank is already deep in the trenches testing this tech? To find out who our research says it is, clip the video on your screen right now.
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.